Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Music. My name is Bob Coffey, and today is Tailor Tuesday. I am grateful to have one of our long-term customers, Mr. Joe DiMaggio. He's been coming to Coffee Music since he was about 16 years old, I think.
Absolutely.
And it's just kind of humorous, I think, that Joe DiMaggio shops at Coffee Music. So that's kind of a cool thing. Joe, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, glad to be here, Mr. C. It's coffee time with Mr. Coffey, as they called my namesake in the 70s.
There you go. There you go. Now, I know you are a Tailor enthusiast. I think you've got that credibility going with you. You have 4 or 5 different Tailors? 5 Tailors. Okay.
5 Tailor guitars.
We're hoping to get 6 today, right?
Hey, it might happen. We just got to send this to my wife later. You know.
We can do that. Mrs. D?
That's right.
Yeah, so, when you first picked up a Tailor, can you describe what it felt like?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tailors are very well known for acoustic guitars. The company started, in 74?
Yep.
And, I started in 1985, felt like yesterday, with playing electric guitars, and picked up really my first Tailor. It's sad to say, probably not until the late 90s. And picked up one from you here at Coffee Music in the early 2000s, which was one of the first acoustics I really played and just absolutely loved. It just had such a great feel to it. And when you think about a guitar, it's all about what I like to call the voice of the guitar. And so there's a lot of different voices, so that's why it's very important to play a lot of different guitars. But it was just an amazing experience, and at this point led me to have a collection of 5.
It's great. And the thing about Tailor, they make a lot of different varieties. You have different shapes, you have different woods, and it really is dependent on what kind of a player you are. If you're your fingerstyle, if you're a strummer, if you're a jazz kind of guy, it really is going to depend on what you want to play. And that's why I think it's important for Coffee Music stocks probably close to 40 different Tailor guitars, different models. Because you need to pick them up and you need to play them and experience it. And you're one of the younger guys, and you're an internet guy maybe, but there's value to having a local music store. If you could maybe weigh in on that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So again, playing for 36 years now, and seeing really the evolution, particularly in commerce and buying things. We've seen that happen all the time, and a lot of it's really good for a lot of different products. I think when it comes to music, it's not so good, and because you really want to have that opportunity to try out not just the variety of instruments that you want to see in a store, but you want to talk to people like yourself and others. And even when you get an opportunity to go to a store, you meet other musicians, you meet other people, and you really get that hands-on feel, and you get to experience not just something you hear over the internet and get someone's opinion, but actually pick it up, feel it, take a look at it. How does it fit with you? How does it fit within your fingers and things of that nature? And that really means everything, because to me, to try to buy something over the internet, it's just difficult. And then it's not even about, if you have a problem down the road, that's always a great thing to have local, but it's just having that opportunity to pick it up, to feel it, and just to then be able to say, hey, I can go home with this one, or I'll come back and try this one tomorrow.
Well, the thing is, playing guitar is a very personal thing.
Yeah.
So you might go onto like an Amazon or an online kind of a dealer, and there'll be, 400, 5-star reviews. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's good for you.
Absolutely.
And I like to pride myself in our store. We've got sales guys who know our Tailor guitars.
Absolutely.
And if you're a certain player, we'll sit and we'll listen, we'll see how you strum, how you attack, and we will help guide you to find that perfect guitar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I've done it with this one, because I don't think you own an 814.
No, I don't. And I mean, it's just it's a beautiful art piece. When you look at a Tailor, there's a lot of artistic things that go into it, if you ever watch their videos. But then there's a real science to it. You take a look at the way they've, one thing I like about Tailor, they came out with a great product. They constantly are evolving. They're constantly improving. From little things like the X brace to like the V brace, and just how that gives a different tonation. Everything just sounds different. It's a little bit more brighter. And so that's one of the best things about it. And you get to come into a place like Coffee Music and try it out. And your team here has always been great to me over the years, because if I say, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking to do, you'll be like, hey, Joe, let's try this out for you.
Right.
And again, that's one of those experiences just is so great. It really is. And so, this one I don't have yet. Maybe you gave it to me for a reason. It feels really good.
Yeah, some of the innovations that Tailor does, the NT neck design is just awesome, and their profile of the neck is very consistent. They use CNC machines, so the quality is just incredible. The sound is just an amazing thing to me. When you play that, the crispness just comes through. It's just a wonderful company, and then the whole wood forged kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
This guy here has an ebony fingerboard, and if you notice the variegation up and down the neck, he is utilizing parts of the ebony trees that they wouldn't have used before, and it just makes the guitars look just totally beautiful, I think, and then personalized too, because
it does.
nobody else is going to have a guitar that looks just like that.
No, everyone is different, and I think too, one of the best things, I mean, as a guy that likes electric, and you see today we got it plugged in, so it is electric. But the best part about the Taylors too, when you unplug them, sound the same. I mean, you're going through an amp, but it sounds the same. So you think about, either you're by yourself and you just want to kind of jam up in your room, or it's a great thing. You don't have to have everything plugged in if you don't want to. Then again, if you want to go out and you want to do some fun stuff with your friends, you're doing some gigging, it's fantastic. You plug in a little amp like this, great quality solid state amp, and you got a great sound, and you can do a lot with it. And it's interesting, even when I purchased a couple of the electric Taylors, the T Pro and the T Pro Z, you put those through, they sound great clean, and even with a little bit of distortion, a couple pedals. I mean, when I got that one from you, actually probably back in 2011, that was a phenomenal guitar. I bought that the T5 from you, the mahogany, and just a really, again, one of my favorite electric guitars. So in addition to the acoustic line that I think Taylor does a great job with, if you're an electric person, it's something that's kind of fun to do too.
Well, that T5, I always consider that like the Swiss Army knife of guitars, because it does a lot of things, very versatile.
Oh, it is. It really is. It's really great.
And the other thing too that I'd like to talk about Taylor, again, their quality and their service, their customer service is awesome. But at one point in time, we were selling 12-string guitars from Taylor, and with the 655, it was beautiful maple guitars. And every time those guitars were shipped here from California, we would open them out of the case, and they are in tune.
Wow.
It's just that's unheard of, So, I mean, they're doing something right from shipping to just design and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, it's great having you here for Taylor Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely.
How about if you play us out on a nice little tune?
I'll play out on something. We'll play a little something fun here for the road. So we'll do maybe some little blues thing. So you all have a great week, and be sure to stop by, see Mr. C, anyone here, Coffey Music, and enjoy your week.
Cruise on down to Coffey Music to check out our huge display of Taylor guitars. Coffey Music is located at 31 East Main Street in downtown Westminster.